good teaching, good speaking comes from understanding what not to say. Because there's so much you could say, but really what a lot of people are paying for when they are looking for guidance is not a trillion pieces of information. It's having the information organized in such a way that is so simply understood and so digestible that they can actually just take it and put it into their lives and have it make a dramatic impact on them. Yeah, so this is going to be a quick video on high-level communication and how to implement it so you can influence more people, grow your business, and ultimately help more people heal and transform their lives. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Yamuna. I lived as a monk for many years in monasteries all over the world. I then founded Jivanam Ayurveda and Wellness, which was a holistic education company where we taught people bodywork and lifestyle principles. And now I run Conscious Business Mastery, which is a high-level growth partner for holistic coaches, retreat leaders, and transformational experts to help them scale their missions to $1 million a year and beyond while staying in integrity with their values. All that being said, why am I making this video? Well, I find that so many people are great at what they do, right? They're great healers, they're great coaches, they're good at a particular healing modality or therapy, or they're very learned in a particular line of thought or technique, whatever it is. Yet they lack the ability to articulate themselves at a high level. And because of that, their influence remains largely unmanifest, okay? Because not only do you need a high level of expertise in a particular modality of helping people, you need to be able to articulate yourself on a high level, because articulation is the amplifier of intimacy, of intelligence, of confidence, of the lessons that you've learned, of your expertise, and it actually influences people to take action and to take a step towards you. Your ability to reach into someone's life and say, hey, I hear you, I see you, I know where you're coming from. Here's another way. Here's the way I did it. And here's a roadmap for you to follow so you can get from point A to point B with more ease, with more joy, in a way that's more sure than the other and more potent than the other methodologies you may have tried. It is the foundation for your product, for marketing, for sales, for influencing people to get them to do what you want them to do, right? That's in their own best interest, and building a team, and so many other things. Creating social media content, your educational content within your course, if you have any. And so I'm going to give a few different principles here and a few examples to just draw this out. So to start off, let's say on one side of the spectrum, you have someone who's low level of expertise, but they speak in a way that, they're speaking very high level topics. So I'm just going to call this dude who lives in a van who took mushrooms once and had some spiritual breakthroughs. Okay. Now he's speaking in platitudes. Has really big ideas, but, not much results to show for. Okay. That's one side of the spectrum. Now on the other side of the spectrum, you have someone who's a high level of expertise, yet they have a low ability to articulate themselves. And so this person, may be a skilled practitioner, like I was mentioning. I've even seen many people who are PhDs or masters or, are very expert in certain things, yet they almost like put themselves in a box by being so quote unquote high level. They think that they're too advanced or too niche or something so advanced that they can't possibly explain it to others. But the symptom of a real expert is their ability to be eloquent. And what is eloquence? Eloquence is truth spoken concisely. Also, the ability to take a high-level concept and make it very accessible. Explain it to a 5-year-old. Explain it to a 10-year-old. Explain it to a 20-year-old. Explain it to an intermediate student of your craft. Explain it to an advanced student of your craft. Explain it to a PhD of your craft. Okay, when you can do that, right, there's a really cool video with Jacob Collier and Herbie Hancock teaching piano and teaching different principles of piano on like a 5-year-old level, 10-year-old level, beginner piano player level, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it was very eye-opening because that's the true symptom of someone who both has high level of expertise and a high level of articulation, is that they can actually help the greatest amount of people. because they're not just stuck in the PhD super advanced box and like, oh no, I can't, even influence others. This person, they have high expertise, low ability to articulate themselves versus the dude in the van that has the low expertise and, somewhat high ability to articulate himself. Both of these people are completely limited in how they can influence and help others. Now, obviously, we don't want to be in low ability to articulate ourselves and low expertise. That's just, foolish. That's just a foolish category. But where we want to guide ourselves to is a high level of expertise, right, in a certain modality or multiple modalities, and a high ability to articulate yourself. So I'm just going to give you a few pointers that will hopefully help you develop the skill of articulation. So one is a framework that you can use for both writing, for creating educational content, social media content, whatever it is. So what you're going to want to do is think of what's the one big idea that you have, okay, for whatever lesson or piece of content you're making. Now, you think about what are the few key supporting ideas underneath of it, okay? So you have your main idea. Underneath of it, you have a few key support ideas. Then what you do is you build out each of the support ideas, okay? So now each of those bullet points has grown in size with some support ideas, okay? And you build it all out, but then you want to boil it all back down and keep asking yourself, does each of these points support the one main idea? That's a very simple way to think about it. So you have your main idea, you have your support ideas, you build out the support ideas to make them bigger, and then you refine it all back down to say, hey, does this actually support the one key point? Beyond that, a really great exercise you can do is think about all the objections to every support idea that you build out. So play devil's advocate, right? What are all the contrary arguments you can make to this? Okay. And to the extent that your idea is also inclusive of whatever counter arguments that could be made against it, it becomes a more robust solution. It becomes a more robust perspective. Okay, because you've considered the alternatives, you've juxtaposed it with other lines of thought, you've played devil's advocate, and now your line of thought actually includes a much more holistic approach to influencing somebody. And is this easily understandable? Is it using any jargon that is specific to my niche? Okay, that a newbie isn't going to understand. Could a 10-year-old listen to this and gain value from it? Okay, what about a 15-year-old? What about a 20-year-old? What about someone who's very advanced in your field? Okay, and beyond this, I want you to think about any piece of content you've made or writing you've made and understand that speech is the measure of and amplifier of your intimacy that you want to create in your community, in your life, your intelligence, your confidence, the level of integration that you've done within yourself, and the level of expertise that you've developed in your field. So to what extent does your speech express the above? To what extent does your content actually reflect the level of intimacy you want to create if you were in person, in a flow state with a client or leading a retreat or whatever it is? To what extent does it reflect the level of intelligence that you possess? To what extent does it exude the confidence in which you have when you're really deep in a flow state? To what extent does it show somebody how they can get where they want to go through your deep understanding and your expertise? And one of the last things I'll say here is, because eloquence is truth spoken concisely, you want to understand that good teaching, good speaking comes from understanding what not to say. Because there's so much you could say, but really what a lot of people are paying for when they are looking for guidance is not a trillion pieces of information. It's having the information organized in such a way that is so simply understood and so digestible that they can actually just take it and put it into their lives and have it make a dramatic impact on them, right? Because there's so much information out there on the internet. People are not in need of more information. There's no lack of information. What there is a lack of is the clear and concise articulation of complex ideas that, when applied, can make a dramatic difference in someone's life. So decide what not to say. Do I need to say this? And also understand that when you're talking with somebody, whether it's on a sales call, coaching call, in, in normal life, or in education content, more time does not equal more depth. Okay, because someone can speak for a very long time and say very little, and someone can say a one-liner that really penetrates into your heart. And I'm sure you've experienced that before, when someone's very deep with a particular realization, and they just say that one line that just enters your ear, and instead of just going out the other ear, it actually goes into your ear and down straight into your heart, and it plants a seed, and it actually influences something deep within you to grow. Now, that's something that we can't necessarily force or imitate at all times, but the depth of our own thought and just going through these exercises with reflecting on how we speak and how we think, and listening to great orators like Martin Luther King, Radhanath Swami, and many, many others, right? Listening to people who speak with excellence, it's going to build within you this ability to really think about the way you express yourself. And to the extent you develop this, you'll become a better leader, a better marketer, a better salesperson. Your clients will get much better results, and you'll also have a greater field in which to express yourself and create intimacy and create connection. So these are a few things I want you to think about. Don't be the person who has a low level of expertise and a low ability to articulate yourself. Don't be a person with low level of expertise and a high ability and just speaking all these big ideas, but you have very low results to show for it. Also, don't be a person with high expertise and low ability to articulate yourself, because then again, you're very greatly capped in how many people you can influence. But let's all try to be experts in our field and develop the skill of high-level communication so that we can influence as many people as possible and make an awesome difference. So that's what I got for you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I read all the comments. So I'd love to hear who some of your favorite speakers are and books that you've read, what those have been for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.